Winners of 3 straight games, the UMass Boston Beacons get set to take on the Wheaton College Lions. That's up next, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Good evening and welcome to the BBN. I am John Skudris. Following a slow start to their 2018 campaign, the Beacons lacrosse team is hitting their stride at the right time. Winners of 3 straight, UMass will take on a 5-2 Wheaton squad today in their final non-conference tilt before the conference slate begins this weekend at Southern Maine. Last time out, UMass's offense awakened late, scoring 6 unanswered fourth-quarter goals to slip by Rivier University 14-10. Down 10-8 heading into the final frame, the Beacons were led back by Connor Lenfast and Clay Arnold, who scored 2 goals apiece in the victory. The triumph over the Raiders came just days after UMass's road blowouts over Regis and Becker by a combined 46-14 margin. Tonight, UMass returns to the friendly confines of home for the first time since March 6th, an 18-8 loss to MIT. They'll take on the Wheaton College Lions, who are riding an impressive win streak of their own. With their 14-2 dousing of UMass Dartmouth on Saturday, the Lions extended their streak to 5 games. Defensively, few are finer than Wheaton this season. In fact, even in their losses, they've allowed double-digit goals just twice this season. Goaltender Chandler Miller leads the way with a 60.6 save percentage and a sparkling 5-1 record. Offensively, the Lions are paced by Josh Telanian and Scott Weir, who each have 21 points apiece. 2 teams heading in the right direction to battle from James Cotter Field tonight. It's the UMass Boston Beacons and the Wheaton College Lions, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. And as we get set for the opening face-off of this one, let's take a look at the season statistics for both of these squads. And as you look on your screen, you see there the Beacons just barely outmaneuvering the Lions with regards to goals as well as shots per game. But you look at the goals against average. That is critical. The Lions have one of the best defenses in the area so far this season, averaging just 8.3 goals allowed per game compared to the Beacons allowing over 13. Those metrics do suggest that the Beacons' hot streak may be influenced by a little luck. We'll see whether or not that's the case tonight against a Wheaton team that has proven that their defense is unrivaled so far in 2018. Our player to watch this evening is going to be Joe Mauceri. And Joe, a new face on the block here for UMass Boston. Mauceri, a freshman standing at 6'3", 200 pounds from Scituate, Massachusetts. A graduate of Scituate High School, now here on Beaconville. He is going to be critical to the success of this team today and beyond. And we'll look to keep an eye on number 11 in white this evening from James Cotter Field. Well, last season was an up-and-down campaign for the Beacons. A lot of great moments, a lot of tough ones as well. We look back at the 2016-17 lacrosse season here on the pregame show on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Sorry, I ain't got no money, I'm not trying to be funny, but I left it all at home today. You can call me what you wanna, I ain't giving you $1 this time, I ain't gonna run away. You might knock me down, but I will get back up again. You can call it how you wanna, I ain't giving you $1 this time, I ain't gonna run away. This time I ain't gonna run. Not this time. Not this time. This time I ain't gonna run. Not this time.
Up top lines with one looking for a second. Surratt the save, able to hold on, and Surratt's going to fling it down the lens. Still 3 seconds left. Chance ain't close. Karamo shoots and scores. He beats the buzzer.
This time I ain't gonna run away. Sorry.
Welcome back into the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I am John Scudra. It's about 5 minutes until the start of this one between the Wheaton College Lions and your UMass Boston Beacons here on the BNN. Both teams getting their warm-ups in as what is a calm yet chilly day here at the end of March 2018. Spring has arrived, but don't tell anybody in Massachusetts because we're likely not to feel it for a while. Two teams on the field, though, have been heating up like spring as Wheaton has won 5 consecutive games since an 0-2 start. They started their campaign off with lackluster offensive performances, scoring just 6 goals against UNE and then 8 against Salve Regina. Since then, they have scored double digits in 4 of those 5 victories. An impressive 9-8 win at SUNY Plattsburgh, the only outlier in that category. Meanwhile, for UMass Boston, got their season kicked off in February with a road win, 13-11 at New England College. After a postponement against Wentworth, they went on a bit of a swoon, losing 3 consecutive games, including that home matchup to MIT, before coming back on the road to dominate Becker and Regis before slipping by Riviere in the aforementioned 6-goal fourth quarter last week. So that's 8 consecutive wins between both of these clubs coming into play. Let's take a look ahead at what the Beacons have coming up after this. And as I mentioned in my intro, the LEC play will get underway coming up on Saturday. The end of March kicks off into April, and we hope the Beacons have some April Fools for the Southern Maine Huskies, as that's going to be a good matchup on Saturday afternoon, followed by a week-long break before they get back in action against an LEC foe at Western Connecticut State, and then home matchups against Husan University and Eastern Connecticut State. So non-conference and in-conference battles coming up over the next couple of weeks for a Beacons team that is fueled by youth. And this is a squad that got 2 huge transfers a year ago in Clay and Clay Arnold. They are supplemented here in 2018 by 2 excellent attacking freshmen, that being Connor Lenfest, who has 14 goals and 23 points, and Joe Mauceri, our player to watch, who was second on the team with 15 goals, 19 points. Those 2, along with Clay Arnold, your team leader in goals with 18, provide the Beacons with a scoring punch that helped them score over 40 goals combined in those victories against Becker and Regis. Meanwhile, for Wheaton, offensively, the Lions are led by number 38, Josh Talanian, who has 17 goals and 21 points this year. Scott Weir comes in second with 19 goals and even 21 points, and Matt Morgan third with 13 and 19 points, respectively. If you are just tuning in, you may have seen that the Wheaton College Lions spell their nickname a bit unconventionally, Lyons. I was a little confused as to why that was the case as well. They state that it dates all the way back to the 1980s, long time, going all the way back to the birth decade of Seth Arensky and I. We're not that old, but it actually is a tribute and a nickname that honors Mary Lyon, a pioneer in American education who acted as a consultant to the Wheaton family at the founding of the seminary in 1834 and established the curriculum for that institution. Of course, Wheaton was a all-women's school back in the day before they did become a co-ed school, I should say. Wheaton Seminary offered young women the means to pursue serious study at a time when those opportunities were few and far between in the 19th century. So definitely a great history for Wheaton College. hailing from Norton, Massachusetts, an enrollment of 1,650. The head coach for the Lions in his third season is Kyle Hart, assistant coach Derek Marshall. For UMass Boston, again, the head coach returning for his 8th season is Tyler Lowe. Assistant coaches Jason Wellemeyer, Spencer Lowe, Chris St. George, and Dan Girardi as they look to lead the Beacons back to the LEC tournament here in 2018. Just a minute away from the start of this one. I'm going to go to a quick break for the national anthem. When we come back, we'll have the start of a key battle here from UMass Boston between your Beacons and the Wheaton College Lions, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. We are all set for the start of this one between UMass Boston and Wheaton College here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Thank you for tuning in to the BBN. I am John Scudris. Your starting lineups as we get set for the opener of this one. In goal for the visiting Wheaton College Lions, it's going to be the aforementioned Chandler Miller, who comes in with a pristine 5-1 record. Around him, it'll be Scott Weir, Jillian Janovich, Victor Moitino, Griffin Phaneuf, C.J. Layton, Alex Stomberg, Connor Donnerty, Josh Talanian, and Matt Morgan. For UMass Boston, starting between the pipes, the junior from Barnesville, Massachusetts, Nick Pasalugo. Around him will be Jack Fournier, Clay Arnold, Croy Arnold, Jack Garrett, Josh Holmes, Tommy Wilbur Jr., Jack Dillon, who's playing long stick midfield this year as opposed to defense as he had in the past, Chuck Curd, and Trey Mason, a junior attacker from Kelowna, British Columbia. No relation to the former NFL football player, Trey Mason, as well. The Beacons are in their white uniforms, navy blue numbers. They are moving from left to right on your screen. The Lions in their blue uniforms, white shorts, and white numbers moving from right to left. They will fight for possession to begin this one as the Beacons look to get off to an early advantage as possession is eventually going to carry them towards the Lions, taken in there on the Beacons end of the field before it is swatted away and moved forward by Dillon. Long stick defender Jack Dillon, hailing from Barrington, Rhode Island, all the way over midfield and into the attacking half of the field as Dillon is able to scoot right through the defense. An early shot and a good save there by the aforementioned netminder Chandler Miller, who's gotten off to a fantastic start this year, stopping over 60% of the shots he faces. In fact, the Lions coming into tonight's contest sit top 40 in the country in total team points, which is impressive considering how solid they've been defensively as well. They start out with the offensive possession here as Griffin Phaneuf has possession of the ball. He tries to scoot right around Arnold. Instead, they pass it around the zone before it eventually does rest back at the top of the attacking zone. Taking it in there is Matt Morgan. Morgan right around the defense. Takes a bouncing shot. He scores! Matt Morgan gets Wheaton off to the early advantage. And the Lions growl first here from James Cotter Field. It's 1-0 Wheaton on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Wheaton College goal scored by number 42, Matt Morgan. Assist to number 28, Joey Mitchell.
They give Joey Mitchell the assist. He's listed in the program as a goalie.
38.
They're going to change that now to 38. Josh Talanian, who's the team leader in point production, or one of the team leaders, I should say, in point production coming in, so no surprise that he'd be involved in the first goal of this one. So it is 1-0. Lions out on top, and with the way Wheaton's played defense, that's exactly what head coach Kyle Hart is looking for early. So Wheaton with possession again on the ensuing face-off. Motoring forward with it is James Holston, a senior defender. There's a high-rising shot. They score! And the Lions jump out on top 2-0 as Alex Stomberg, a junior from Glastonbury, Connecticut, has gone top shelf where Mama hides the cookies.
Alex Stomberg, assist to number 44, Maxwell McLaughlin.
Max McLaughlin gets the assist as the native of Westmoreland, New Hampshire, finds the Glastonbury, Connecticut native for a New England connection on that one. Well, depends who you ask if they consider Connecticut New England. Right now, though, all things considered, the Beacons can't be happy with the way this one's gotten underway. Still plenty of time. We're just a minute 20 into action as here is Arnold with possession. Croy sends it near side, and forward come the Beacons. Chuck Curd, a freshman from Dorchester. Fournier, near side of the field, motoring around number 33, James Marcicella. And now behind the net with possession, here's Josh Holmes. First extended offensive opportunity here for the Beacons as Harley Montero, that's actually number 16, Dalton Ring with possession. A lot of freshmen on this Beacons team, and no surprise they started out 1-2, but since then, 1-3 rather, but since then they have won 3 consecutive games, hoping to find their stride further, is getting taken down from behind and drawing a foul. Beautiful effort there. Drawing the foul, Connor Lenfest, who's been absolutely outstanding this year. Lenfest takes the shot. Good save there by Miller. as Chandler will hang on. So the Beacons should have an advantage here. Wait for the official call. So a man-up advantage here for the Beacons. Not sure for how long. 30 seconds for a push from behind. So it was an opportunity for the Beacons to trim the deficit from 2 down to 1. Lenfest gets it back. Connor right back to Trey Mason. Mason back to Connor Lenfest. Fakes the shot, avoids the stick check. Now back to Mason. Mason thinks of passing backhand. Instead, he curls back towards the near side. Gets the pass from Lenfest. Mason down low. Arnold, great save by Miller as he denies Clay Arnold from point-blank range. And that should just about do it for the penalty. And so the Beacons squander an early opportunity. Motoring back the other way is Ted Cosgrove. The freshman from Madison, Connecticut, finds Stomberg, who comes back behind the net. And C.J. Layton, a junior from Falmouth, Maine, back to the top of the box here for a reset for Wheaton. Josh Talanian goes right around the Beacons' defense. Bouncing shot, he scores! And Wheaton is taking it to UMass Boston early. Josh Talanian with the unassisted goal, the native of Arlington, has given the Lions a 3-0 lead. So an ensuing face-off coming here. It'll be between Troy Sliney, a freshman for Wheaton, and Jacob Sinclair Steves, a fellow freshman for UMass Boston. 3-0, just 3 minutes, 20 seconds into this one. Most goals the Beacons have allowed this year in a game was in a blowout against RPI, 26-5. Face-off is eventually corralled by the Lions as getting possession there was Sliney, the man who initially took it, and then he was taken down by Dillon. Dillon has the advantage moving forward. Long stick midfielder. Connecting here with Sam Matten, a sophomore who in his freshman season was critical to UMass Boston's success. He'll be subbing out here, though, as he hands things off to Mauceri. Joe goes far side for Dalton Ring, and the Beacons will await the fresh legs onto the pitch. And that is Connor Lenfest, the freshman from Waltham. Mauceri from Dalton Ring, now back far side. Mauceri hands things off to Lenfest. Lenfest one-on-one deed up here by Maxwell McLaughlin. McLaughlin uses the butt of that stick to push him out of the box, and now back in front. An opportunity for a hard shot. Great save again by Chandler Miller as he denies Dalton Ring from the slot about 15 feet out. Well, Chandler Miller's certainly living up to the hype here early. He's made a couple of good saves. Meanwhile, the Beacons looking for similar from Pasalugo have been unable to get it. It's 3-0 early. McLaughlin finds his midfield partner Talanian, and Josh will slow things up. Morgan and Talanian playing pitch and catch just from the Beacon side of midfield. And now here's Morgan. Far side, harassed there by Arnold. Croy forces him to pass it out to Talanian. Talanian gets a pick, however does not have a shooting lane. Good stick check there, and slapping it away was Dalton Ring. Possession still loose. Behind the net, Dillon gets it. He's double-teamed. He's going to have to try to find an outlet pass and does. Good play by Dillon as Ring will lead the rush the other way. Numbers for the Beacons perhaps, and now they'll slow things up as they do get on the good side of midfield. And slowing things up with possession now is Josh Holmes. 9:10 to go, first quarter action. It's 3-0. Wheaton Lions on top. Nice hesitation move. Looking for an open lane, cutting right into the net mouth there was Lenfest before he was forced out behind the net. Bouncing ball taken in by Arnold. Clay Back behind the net they come. Around the horn near side now for Mauceri. Mauceri thought about shooting. Now he takes it. He scores! Joe Mauceri gets the Beacons on the board. A bouncing shot that Miller was unable to handle. It's 3-1. So Mauceri gets it from Ring.
Score by number 11, Joe Mauceri. Assist to number 7, Clay Arnold. It's Mauceri's 16th goal of the season.
They're going to say Clay Arnold was the last one to touch it before Mauceri, so a freshman from a senior. Of course, the Arnold twins came over last year and really was a huge development for the Beacons as they didn't know who their offensive catalysts were going to be. Tons of freshmen, including Matten last year, and Arnold, both Clay and Croy were critical to the Beacons' success, especially Clay offensively, though they did battle injuries. Clay Arnold missed some time, but now that he's back, the Beacons are relatively healthy. They're going to be getting back Ned Parker and Matt Murphy, at least expected to get those two back on Saturday. They're trying to weather the storm here and pick off a non-conference win against Wheaton, trailing 3-1 early on. Almost halfway through the first quarter. UMass Boston trying to gain the momentum back, having scored their first of the day. Far side, good feed. Ring was able to connect in front there with Lenfest, but his shot was blocked all the way back to the Beacons' half of midfield. Dillon thought about just dumping it deep. Instead, Jack's going to take it himself. Long stick midfielder right around the D. He's into the slot, backhand. What a save by Miller on a beautiful opportunity there from Dillon. Boy, oh boy, Chandler Miller. He has been outstanding here early and all season long. He's just a sophomore from West Lynn, Oregon, far away from home. So here is Wheaton with possession now, trying to turn a great save into offense. Maxwell McLaughlin hands things off to Talanian. Substitutions abound. Talanian will hand it off to the recently entered Matt Morgan. And the York, Maine native plays pitch and catch. 7 minutes to go here in the first. It's 3-1 Wheaton here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. From the far side, Griffin Phaneuf. Phaneuf, a diminutive figure out there, able to sneak past the defense. Now behind, back to the top for Talanian. Talanian hesitation. Good defense there by Matten. Midfielder on midfielder. Now an opportunity for McLaughlin. He hit the crossbar. Almost the fourth of the day here early. And the Beacons dodged a bullet there. They're going to give possession to Wheaton, even though it looked, at least to me, like Fournier was the first man there. Referee disagree, and so here's an opportunity for Phaneuf. Griffin around Matten. Fakes the shot. He has a shooting lane, and it's blocked down in front. I believe getting his body on that one was Fournier. And from the far side of the field, motoring by the defense with possession is Dillon. He'll dump it deep, and we get a penalty coming here, resulting from that. There's a quick snapshot. That one blocked down. Unable to get the shot on goal was Mason. And that should draw a whistle as the Beacons should have, at least for a minute, the extra attacker. They're going to call a slash on the Lions. Two minutes. So a big break here for UMass Boston, a 2-minute slashing penalty.
1 minute for slashing.
Excuse me, 1 minute slashing. We're getting the info from the other side of the field. Sounded like they said 2 minutes. It is 1 minute. And so UMass Boston will try to use the 60 seconds to their advantage here to climb closer, down by 2. It was 3-0 Wheaton early on, now down to 3-1. Arnold. Mason now back up top. Lenfast back to Mason. Mason looking for Lenfast. Whisked right through his stick. Mason now finds Lenfast near side. Down low, Arnold. Arnold tries to spin towards the net. No lane there. Good defense down low. A play made by Jillian Yanovich from the far side. And possession taken by Victor Moitino. Moitino connects with Liam Pearson, and the defender for the Wheaton Lions will clear. Beacon so far been unable to take advantage of 2 Wheaton penalties, and now coming back the other way is Pearson. Down low, getting taken down in front of the net with possession was Weir, one of their leading producers of points, and we will get something to come from that. And all we have, at least initially, is a timeout, as we will get a slowing and a stoppage of play, and a timeout by the Wheaton Lions. 4:46 to go, first quarter action. This is the Beacons Broadcasting Network. As UMass Boston comes in at 4-3 overall, having won 3 straight. They play host to the Wheaton College Lions, having won 5 straight, and 5-2 overall after a slow start here in 2018. In fact, Wheaton's won 4 straight over the Beacons, a 7-5 all-time record against UMass Boston. It's the first time, though, that Wheaton's traveled to this campus since the 2000 season. It's been a long time for Wheaton. In fact, just doing my math here, some of these players were barely born the last time the Lions made the trip to the Harbor campus. UMass Boston out of the timeout in their own zone. They'll be looking to play sound defensively, as they have for the last 5 or 6 minutes, following a 3-goal barrage in the first 5. With possession to start things out will be Weir from the far side. Weir spins through the defense, now has to be pushed back on good defensive effort, and a play made by UMass Boston's Tommy Sealander. Behind the net, motoring forward, Morgan. Morgan spins back behind the net. With possession now is Abramo. Abramo peels back, now hands it off. Back to the top they come. Beacons and the Lions. 3-1 Wheaton. Morgan, good spin, right in front, he scores! Matt Morgan, the junior from York, Maine, has made it 4-1 Wheaton College.
Wheaton College goal scored by number 42, Matt Morgan, assist to number 38, Josh Kalanian.
4th goal allowed here in the first 11 minutes by the Beacons, as Pasalugo discusses it with his defense. And UMass Boston, for the second time in this game, is down 3.
That is his, who is it, the scored at 42?
15th of the year for Matt Morgan, as he and the Lions continue to cruise. They've won 5 straight. Now coming with the face-off win is Sliney. And immediately intercepted as the Beacons will try to take advantage. This one coming out of bounds. UMass Boston down by 3, less than 4 to go. Hesitation move, trying to motor past the midfield is Tommy Wilbur. Wilbur has to hand it off for Sam Matten. Matten got a little more speed than Wilbur does. Instead, he tried to send it far side. It was deflected. Ball still loose on the Beacons' half of the field. And picking it up and motoring out of harm's way is Sealander. Connor Lenfest, near side, back to his partner in crime, Mauceri, our player to watch tonight. Mauceri will get it back here now from Dalton Ring. Near side, Lenfast. Beacons looking for movement from those without possession. Now they find Dalton Ring. Ring one-on-one here with McLaughlin. Looking for a shooting lane. Instead, he has to come all the way back behind the net. Nice spin move attempt. And Lenfast trying to get right in front of the net into a good scoring area. Unable to do so. Dalton Ring. Beacons and the Lions continuing to feel each other out here with 2.5 to go. Pass in front. Good look, but unable to connect on that feed was Mauceri as he was trying to find Holmes. Janovic finds his goaltender, Miller. Miller now moves forward with this one and connects with McLaughlin. Maxwell McLaughlin. Right in front. A golden scoring opportunity and a great save by Pasalugo on that shot attempt from James Marcicella. So really the first great save there from Pasalugo after we've seen 3 or 4 stellar stops by his opposition, Chandler Miller. Taking a couple of whacks there is Fournier. And now with possession, it's Jack Hounshell. Hounshell for the visiting Lions from the far side of the field. Flips it forward for Talanian. Josh far side, one-on-one with Dillon. Behind the net, now spins back. Gets a natural screen there from his teammate. And then a collision right in front of the net. Both players tumble down, and the Beacons take advantage. As emerging from the fracas with it is number 20, Tommy Wilbur. And Tommy is going to be called here, and it looks like it is going to go in favor of Wheaton. So far, the Beacons have actually had 2 man advantages, but with the extra attacker, they have not been able to get anything out of it. Total time out of that was 1:30 of extra attack time. Jack Hounshell, number 7 in blue, going right around Arnold. Arnold able to force him to the outside, now behind the net. Good stick check there as that pressure was forced by Fournier. Hesitation, and now driving is Phaneuf. Phaneuf pushed back and now has to go behind the net. That was a good defensive effort by Solander. And good shot attempt from the near side post by number 29, Alex Stomberg, but a better save by the netminder, Pasalugo. Now Nick will try to thump it all the way down. He's intercepted. Nick gave it right back to Stomberg after he made the save, and the offensive opportunity will continue here for the Lions. Faking the shot and then pulling back. Here's Holston. Then James will head off the field. Phaneuf looking for help. He takes the shot from way outside. Saved there by Pasalugo. And a timeout here, I believe, for UMass Boston. That brings the first quarter to an end. Couldn't see the clock from where I am. UMass Boston trailing 4-1 through 15 minutes of play. Still plenty of time to go, but if you're UMass Boston, you desperately want to see the offense start to take advantage of those opportunities with the extra attacker. 90 seconds worth here in the first quarter, and they were unable to do anything with it. A couple of scoring opportunities, but nothing more than that. We are through 1 quarter of play. It's 4-1 Wheaton here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Hooked on a feeling blares throughout James Cotter Field. As right now the Lions are hooked on a winning feeling as they are up 4-1 after 1. Still plenty of time left to go. 45 minutes of lacrosse action still ahead on the Beacons Broadcasting Network as the two sides switch sides, and UMass Boston switching goalies. Alex Surratt, who played a ton of time last year as a freshman, is back between the pipes, the 5'7" netminder from Melrose. So tough start to the campaign and a tough start to the day for the junior Pasalugo as he gives up 4 first-quarter goals and is, as of now, removed from the game. We'll see if he gets any more playing time the rest of the way. UMass Boston opens with a face-off win, and so they will have possession. We'll see if they can take advantage. Right now, trailing by 3. They do have a goal, but have had more opportunities than the scoreboard suggests. Behind the net, Trey Mason. Mason sticking his right hand, cradling the ball, goes back far side behind the net for Arnold. Clay whips it around the horn as it comes back to the top of the formation. Hesitation move coming on in with possession. Lenfast. Lenfast whisks a shot through and wide. But Mason the first man there, and so with 14:19 to go in the second, UMass Boston keeps possession. Play has resumed as Clay Arnold able to connect with Lenfest. Lenfest behind the net now for Mason. Mason all the way back to the top for Connor. Lenfest pinching right into the scoring opportunity and a scoring range. He hits the far side post. It comes out of bounds off of a deflection after that. And Arnold was the first man there, so the Beacons do keep it. Already a better start to the second than it was the first when they gave up 3 straight to start the game. Lenfest looking for a shooting lane, comes near side. With possession, here's Mauceri. Mauceri, one-on-one, spins away from the defender. That's Holston. Looking for a pass in front as he was able to connect there with the open man, Josh Holmes. But he could not keep possession in his stick. And coming back the other way now are the visiting Lions. Down low, Wheaton right in front. Golden opportunity. Great save by Surrett as he comes into the game and makes a dandy of a denial with the stick. Great save there on Abramo. As behind the net now, Holmes for UMass Boston. Joe Mauceri, far side for Lenfest. Lenfest out there on the attacking side of things with Mauceri, couple of midfielders heavily involved in the action offensively throughout the first 2 minutes of this quarter. Croy Arnold cradling it away from the defense, back behind the net for his brother Clay. Clay right back on top. Opportunity, nice spin move, but tumbling down like a tree in the forest there was Mauceri. And we will get a whistle and a timeout. So the first timeout of the day called by the Beacons. So Tyler Lowe wants to discuss things with his squad as his team trails 4-1. Looking a lot better here to start the second quarter, at least in terms of time of possession, than they did to start the first. If you're just joining us, 3 consecutive goals to start the afternoon for the Wheaton College Lions. Got them out in front. Beacons then countered with a goal to make it 3-1. It is now 4-1 after a goal by Matt Morgan for Wheaton. That was the score after 1. We have 12:38 to go in the first half. It is still 4-1. Folks, stay tuned at halftime. We'll get you an update on the halftime statistics, a look around Beaconville. The baseball team at Westfield State today as they will look to get back in the winning column. They will split a doubleheader on Saturday against Suffolk, winning the first game 3-1, losing the second 3-1. We'll also get you highlights of that 3-1 victory against the Rams, as well as highlights of the Indoor Track National Championships. Out of the timeout, Beacons have possession. Mauceri with it. Teed up here by Marcasella. Freshly entered into the game is Jack Garrett, a freshman, number 10. He got it right back to Mauceri. Croy Arnold. Far side, Mason. Mason. Defense allows him to go right to the net. That was a poorly orchestrated defensive play by McLaughlin, as that allowed Mason to go right to the net, but he missed it wide. Hesitation from the aforementioned Garrett, who started this game. Had exited for a while and is now back in. Mauceri thought about going behind the net for Clay Arnold. Instead, he pitches back towards midfield and finds Garrett. Trey Mason from Garrett, down low for Arnold. Croy playing pitch and catch here with Mauceri. Garrett came in for Lenfest moments ago. Here is Garrett for Mauceri. A lot of time still in this one. Beacons trailing by 3. And then losing the possession there was Mauceri. Didn't even look like the defense made contact with his stick. Just tried to do too much on the cradle. And then a great defensive effort on the forecheck here. As what a hustle and what an aggressive play as the ball is still loose. And eventually possession taken, although it looks like we will get a whistle. Beacons will keep it. Heck of an effort by Josh Holmes. Number 14 in white, who now will have possession as we resume with 11:04 to go, first half action. What a play by Holmes. Clay Arnold. You always tell the Arnolds with those ponytails hanging from their helmets, at least Croy. Clay you can't see as well because he's usually behind the net. Lenfest back in the game. He's got possession near side. Lenfest looking for Clay, but the defense sniffed that out, and so Connor will keep possession. Motor all the way around the horn he comes. Nice spin move back, but good adjustment by the defense. As coming on over to push him away was Connor Donahue, a junior from Hottsville, New York, as this one eventually comes out of bounds. Still Beacons ball. And, well, looks like Josh Holmes' shoe came untied, perhaps when he made that great defensive play moments ago. Equipment issues rectified, and Holmes will begin things one-on-one with Victor Moitino. Nice play to get around Moitino, looking in front, but an even better play by Moitino as he deflected the pass attempt. Hit the bottom of the stick of Holmes. Was able to dislodge possession, and now here come the Lions. All that, the Beacons really controlling possession for the first 5 minutes of this quarter, and nothing to show for it right now. Wheaton will try to stem the tide. That has been a onslaught of UMass Boston possession time, but still a 4-1 Wheaton College advantage. Hesitating now with possession, trying to get their positioning correct. This is Matt Morgan, who scored the last goal for the Lions. Morgan hands it off to number 22, Griffin Phaneuf. Phaneuf, easy to notice out there. He's a couple inches shorter than the rest of the midfielders. Plenty of speed, though, as he's D'd up one-on-one with Arnold. Nice spin move, and he showed his dexterity there. Now Phaneuf near side, coming all the way around the horn, looking for help behind the net. Around the horn they come as Weir goes far side and eventually comes all the way back to Morgan. Morgan hands it off to Talanian. Josh knows what to do when he gets possession, one of their leaders in assists. Nice fake on the pass attempt in front, but nothing in front initially, and then connecting there with number 23, C.J. Layton was Weir. They collided, and they're going to call the Beacons and say that possession stays with Wheaton College. Phaneuf behind the net. Finding Layton. CJ gets around the D, getting a little help, and then spinning it around with a wicked shot up high but wide. And now the Beacons should get possession, and they do, as the first man there was Fournier. Good defense by Dillon on that play, forcing the shot high and wide. And now Fournier will look towards Jack, but then the pass was cut off. And a bad turnover by UMass Boston. Looked like the pass was intended for Dillon from Fournier, but Clay Arnold thought it was his. And that's where things all went awry. 4 aside, fighting for possession here. Looks like a rugby scrum. And the Beacons eventually do emerge from the fracas with possession as Tommy Wilbur Jr. hands it off to Alex Surratt, who entered in here to begin the second. Alex, near side, and misses a wide open pass to Solander. And that is just a bad turnover for UMass Boston. Wheaton College now. Griffin Phaneuf right around Solander, right in front, and a great save by Surratt as Solander got beaten badly there by Phaneuf on the short side. But a good play by Alex Surratt, who just entered into the game a few minutes ago. And we will get a timeout on the field. I think a timeout was called by Wheaton, but not 100% sure. So it's UMass Boston calling the timeout as we get the official word from the scorer's table. 7:45 to go, first half action. 4-1 Wheaton College. This second quarter has seen a lot of scoring opportunities, but no scoring. We had 5 goals in the first between these two teams. We still have 5 goals almost just about halfway through the second quarter of play, well beyond the halfway point of the first half of play. On the far side of your screen, you see the two teams huddling up on their respective benches. Beyond that, Monin Park, where the UMass Boston baseball team plays their games. And beyond that, the campus of UMass Boston. During the day, you'll see a lot more bustling activity. A brand new parking garage on the right side of this field, just beyond it, as they continue to revamp and revolutionize this Harbor campus. 7:45 to go. We reconvene here from James Conner Field. I am John Scudris. This is the Beacons Broadcasting Network. It's 4-1 Wheaton. Behind the net, and a good look in front is trying to find the man there was Mike Abramo, the freshman from Old Bethpage, New York. But the Beacons do get it. Long stretch feed, corralled. Good play and good effort by Fournier. Fournier all the way into the attacking zone as the long stick defender peels back after handing it off to Clay Arnold behind the net. Clay down there. He's got a little help from Holmes in the attacking zone. He's also got the man with possession, Trey Mason. He was trying to go to Croy Arnold. Backed up smartly there by Mauceri. Mauceri, Lenfast, Arnold, Mason, Holmes, and a goal as the Beacons answer back. And it is the player to watch, Joe Mauceri, who sneaks one by the netminder, Miller, and cuts the deficit to 4-2. Unassisted goal from Mauceri as he's able to beat the netminder Miller. And so the Beacons get the next goal, the critical next goal, to cut it down to 2. It's the closest they've been since it was 3-1. It's been 2-0 and 3-1. The Beacons trying to cut it down to 1. They have not led this game. UMass Boston having won 3 consecutive coming in. Off the face-off win, good play as Sinclair Steves moves forward. Another one of those young players that the Beacons expect a lot from in the coming years. Behind the net, Holmes. The Beacons get some help. Dillon pinching in late. He's almost got the feed from Holmes. The Beacons' passing just has not been crisp. Certainly not as crisp as it has been the last couple of weeks. Beacons maintain possession. Croy Arnold. Arnold coming all the way down. Hands it off behind the net for Holmes. Holmes finding Mason. Mason spins back behind the net. Now has to come back towards Mauceri. Mauceri already with a goal today. Looking for 2 for the price of 1 perhaps here as he's D'd up by number 4, James Holston. Mauceri finds Croy Arnold. Lenfest on the far side. McLaughlin on him. Hesitation move. Backpedaling towards midfield before going right back towards the net on the far side post. Lenfest trying to do it all himself, looking for help. He finds Croy Arnold. He scores! What a play by the dynamic duo of Lenfest and Croy Arnold.
UMass Boston goal scored by number 8, Croy Arnold.
So the senior from the freshman. And that was all begun by Lenfest as he was able to maintain possession and find the open man. As Arnold delivers, it's a 1-goal game, 4-3. This whole quarter really has been dominated by UMass Boston after the first was handled well by Wheaton. Beacons would like nothing more than to tie it up or perhaps take a lead heading into halftime. And good victory by Sinclair Steves. Second consecutive solid move out of the faceoff for UMass Boston's freshman. As here is Matten coming down low with it. Mason behind the net for Holmes. Holmes out there with Clay Arnold, Trey Mason. Dillon, who's going to head back towards midfield, replaced now by Mauceri. And back onto the field, the man who just scored, Croy Arnold. Holmes looking for the late cut. Thought about going to Lenfest, but there wasn't a passing lane for him. Croy Arnold gets it from Mauceri. Arnold around Morgan, and he's taken down by Morgan. No whistle, and now we do get a call, and the Beacons will keep it.
Well said. Yep, start.
Behind the net as we reconvene. 4:45 to go, first half action. The goal by Mauceri is his 16th of the year. He's got 21 points as that bouncing shot whistles wide on the near side. An attempt for another goal for Croy. Beacons keep it, though. Holmes. Far side for Lenfast. He's got both Arnolds in front, number 7 and 8. Lenfast spin move behind the net, trying to come all the way around himself. Might have had a shooting lane. Instead, he comes back for a Holmes. Holmes from Mauceri. Far side for Croy Arnold. 4 minutes and change left. First half action. Arnold shot. Bouncer near side. That one whistles wide. And diving to keep possession in his team's hands was Holmes. What first half hustle from Holmes as UMass Boston keeps it with 4 exactly remaining on the clock. Holmes behind the net with possession, slowing things up here. 3:48 to go. Trying to come right in front himself. Looked for perhaps a short side shooting lane. Instead, he comes right back to Mauceri. Mauceri hesitates. The D on him. Beacons continuing to dominate time on attack here in the second quarter. Mauceri looking for another, and a great save by Miller, getting that stick head down low. That is a tough save for a goalkeeper in this sport. Having to whip that stick from its customary position by his head all the way down low, and he did a great job of it. And so, a chance for Wheaton now to re-extend their lead to 2. It's coming all the way in, right through the defense, and whistling it wide with a backhander there was Matt Morgan. He had the 4th goal of the game all the way back in the first quarter. Since then, a scoring drought here for Wheaton. And it's something they've been adept at doing this season. As I mentioned, they don't score a ton of goals, certainly not as many as the Beacons have scored so far this year, but they've been scoring them at the right time. They haven't scored more than 16 goals this year in a single game. As here is Phaneuf, and a great save made by Surratt on Phaneuf as a beautiful denial by the Beacons netminder. By comparison, UMass Boston has scored 16 in 2 games. Those victories over Becker and Regis, where they scored a combined 46. Dillon, good feed. Chance now, Mason, he scores! And UMass Boston has battled back. Trey Mason has evened it up at 4 on an assist from Jack Dillon. It's the 6th of the year for Trey Mason, the junior from British Columbia, and a transfer from Daniel Webster College. So Beacons team without a whole lot of transfers, though the ones they do have certainly bring with them plenty of credentials. Of course, you have both Clay and Croy Arnold, who hail from the Syracuse area and went to Onondaga Community College before coming here. They've certainly lived up to their potential. Ned Parker, an attacker and a sophomore transferred from Syracuse University. Josh Holmes, mentioned him a lot, transfer from Roger Williams. And, of course, man I just mentioned, Trey Mason, who's tied things up at 4, who came over from Daniel Webster. Can't forget Jack Dillon, who came from University of Hartford. So that goal itself was transfer centralized, as the Beacons will try to cling to this tie and gain possession back for their offense. 1:45 to go here on the BNN. It is 4-4 as the Beacons have scored 3 unanswered here in the second. after giving up 3 unanswered to start the first. That one got away. Ball still loose before Dillon comes all the way in. Jack Dillon always knows what to do with the ball. He finds Trey Mason, just like he did for the game-tying goal a minute ago. Holmes, the Roger Williams transfer, picks it up. Shot from behind, and that is a clear and present penalty as the easiest call you will see right in front of the ref. We'll see what the eventual ramifications are, but with a minute 16 to go in the quarter, that is a critical opportunity for UMass Boston. So 30 seconds here, expected for a push, as the Beacons will have Josh Holmes lead the way. Holmes has Arnold, both Arnolds, as well as Lenfest out there. On the far side, he's got Mauceri, and he also has Mason. Far side, Mauceri gets it from Mason. Back to Trey. Trey in front. Croy Arnold, what a feed for his brother. They score! The Arnold connection as Croy finds Clay. And the Beacons take their first lead with 60 seconds to go in the first half of play. It's 5-4 UMass Boston. The 19th goal of the season for Clay Arnold. He leads the team. So 4 unanswered goals for the Beacons, who are trying to extend their winning streak to 4. And they lead it 5-4 with 60 seconds to go. Sinclair Steves back out there to try to keep the momentum going for the Beacons. Fighting for it there with number 21, Victor Moitino. And Moitino is able to get it forward as the visiting Lions win it. And we will get a timeout with 51 seconds to go. So Wheaton will call a timeout as Kyle Hart will discuss things with his team. The Lions hailing from the New England Women's and Men's Athletic Conference. It's a mouthful. That's why they shorten it to NUMAC. The Lions will continue NUMAC play this Saturday when they host MIT at 4. Of course, the Beacons got a taste of those geniuses over at MIT earlier this year with an 18-8 drubbing. Part of that 3-game losing streak at the beginning of March that saw the Beacons really struggle against the duo of MIT and RPI. That RPI matchup in Davenport, a 26-5 drubbing. The Beacons certainly came back with a vengeance the following week with 24-5 and 22-9 wins against Becker and Regis. Out of the timeout with possession, the Wheaton Lions, Matt Morgan, will be the man to do the honors as the whistle starts the clock. 50 seconds to go in the first half of play. Beacons clinging to the 1-goal lead. They've scored 4 unanswered and 5 of the last 6. Morgan right around Croy Arnold. Had no shooting lane. Good job by Surratt to hug the post. Trying to slap it away Fournier as that shot whistles wide, and we'll get a penalty. So the save by Surratt, but a penalty here on UMass Boston as the yellow flag came out. Illegal body check for Tommy Solander. So for the remainder of the first half and the start of the second half, the Beacons will be short one of their better defenders, Tommy Solander. See if they can cling to this lead heading into halftime. Good spin move on a play made there by Talanian, and a great play. The Beacons trying to capitalize the other way as it's cleared all the way down. Just 9 seconds to go. If nothing else, not much time here for Wheaton. Trying to motor his way all the way down and losing possession. Good defense. As the Beacons get possession, Jack Dillon does the job, and that will do it for the first half of play. Beacons bench is pumped up. The Wheaton bench not so much, as UMass Boston scores 4 second-quarter goals. And they have taken a 5-4 lead into halftime as Jack Dillon barks at his bench in excitement as UMass Boston has taken a 5-4 lead after 30 minutes of play. What a first half it was. A first quarter dominated by the visiting Wheaton College Lions. They scored the first 3 of the game. They scored 4 of the first 5 to have a 4-1 lead, but the Beacons battled back as they were able to score 5 goals in this first half, including 4 in the second, limited the visiting Lions to 0 in that frame and take a 5-4 lead into halftime. We are going to go to a break and give you an opportunity to check out highlights of the Indoor Track National Championships. When we come back, we'll have halftime stats around Beaconville and highlights of the baseball team's victory at Monin Park from Saturday. Once again, the score, the Beacons 5, the Lions 4, right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
Jonathan won the long jump national title yesterday. Could she get her first on the track? Off they go. Good start from Kennedy Green from Williams. Jonathan and Harlan pulling ahead. It's Jonathan, almost a full stride ahead, and she cruises across the line. Waddle and Jonathan, national champion in the 60 with a 7.41. The 2 fastest times in D3 championship meet history. Jonathan's in blue in lane 5. Good start for her and for Aka Guzman in Chicago in lane 3. Amy Jones falling back a little bit. Jonathan has already surpassed Gina Della Russo. Aka Guzman right now in 3rd place. Della Russo in 2nd as they converge on the inner lap. One more time around the track. Jonathan ran 54.5 yesterday. That's the D3 record. Could she break it today? She's on pace to really give it a shot. Otto and Jonathan well ahead of the field. Della Russo, then Jones, then Baca Guzman. Jonathan has to finish strong if she wants to break the record. She's done it! Start for Lou Berry. Watkins running low. It's starting to be a Berry versus Watkins race with Johnson coming out to the tape too. We'll have to see how they finish. Lanes 2, 3, and 4 appear to be the fastest. It's Jamal Watkins, then Lou Berry, then Jordan Johnson. Jamal Watkins, only a couple miles from Birmingham Southern, wins the national championship. Everybody with a clean start. Jonathan with the super long strides. Makes up a ton of ground early. She's already outrunning Nolan. Waddle and Jonathan looking for history. 24:64 the time to beat. Jonathan well out in front. Waddle and Jonathan from UMass Boston. 24.00. A national champion in the 200. Congratulations to Waddle and Jonathan. Her 4th national championship.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. John Scudras here. The Beacons leading it right now, 5-4 at halftime, as they came back from what was a 4-1 deficit to take the lead heading into the locker rooms. And as you take a look there, UMass Boston out shooting their opposition from Wheaton, 22-16. 8 saves for UMass Boston, the duo of Pasalugo and Surratt. Alex Surratt has been outstanding in the second quarter, has yet to allow a goal, despite facing a few barrages, especially late in the first half of play. Meanwhile, face-offs relatively even. The Beacons with a 6-5 advantage and 11 opportunities. Turnovers exactly even. Both teams have turned the ball over 8 times. As you take a look there, the man-up opportunities, neither team has taken full advantage of that. Beacons have had more chances, 1 for 3 overall, the one being their most recent goal that they were able to take advantage of the man-up. Meanwhile, the Beacons have been playing fundamentally sound, only allowing one man-up opportunity for the visiting Lions, where they went 0-4-1. So the score is even, relatively even at 5-4, and the statistics illustrate that point as well as we head to the final 30 minutes. Let's take a look around Beaconville and see how the rest of the Beacons athletics are doing here this week. Westfield State was able to hold on for a 4-2 triumph over now number 4 baseball and falling quickly. They were the number 1 team in the land heading into the week, but the Beacons, of course, split that doubleheader on Saturday with Suffolk. Well, Suffolk's a team that came in with good credentials coming off an NCAA tournament appearance a year ago, but that loss to Westfield State is going to hurt coming into this weekend's matchups. Softball hosting the Babson Beavers on Wednesday for a doubleheader. Coverage getting underway just before 3 p.m. here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Men's tennis is at Suffolk on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. And outdoor track competes at Tufts on Saturday. I hope that I heard it's supposed to be about 60, 65 degrees on Saturday, so that is good news for the track team and the Jumbos, their opposition in that meet. Well, the baseball team, as mentioned, has been struggling a bit so far this year as they come up from Florida. They've been hot and cold, and hopefully, as the weather heats up, so do they. But on Saturday, they were the living imagery of inconsistency, winning the opener 3-1 against the Suffolk Rams before falling to those Rams 3-1 in the finale of the doubleheader. Let's take a look at the good news, the 3-1 victory in the opener, and highlights of that game right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. The 2-2. Another breaking ball swung on and missed by Speliotis. 2-pitch coming. And that one ripped through the right side of base hit. And so the Rams get on the board first. Clutch 2-out RBI single for Blaise Cormier. The 1-2 pitch. On the outside corner call. Strike 3. He struck him out. From the stretch, the 0-1. They do bunt. It's a beauty. That's going to get the run home as retired at first base is Charlie Hughey. But an RBI on the safety squeeze. Less than 2 outs for Chant. And who knows what might happen. Instead, the inning is over. Strikeout swinging for Fernando Burgos. The 3-1 pitch. That one, cue shot. Third base diving play. Beautiful effort. Firing across and making the out is Eddie Riley. And that one is ripped to third base. Riley fires over to second for 1. Back to first in time for a double play. Here's the 2-2 coming from Mortis. 2-2 pitch, ground ball through the hole, base hit, and the Beacons take their first lead. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score. Heading on over to third is Hughey, and the Beacons have broken it open a bit here in the 6th inning on a 2-run, 2-strike, 2-out base knock from Sal Frascino. 2-2, curveball, beautiful pitch as he pulls the string on Brady Chance, striking him out. First strikeout of the afternoon for Gottesman. That'll do it here for the 7th. Have to do a little cleanup with McCormick as the strikeout swinging, throw out to first. And a beautiful inning of relief work there for Gottesman. The 1-2 pitch, fastball swung on and missed. He struck him out. And so coming on in and lighting up the radar gun is Bobby Tramendozzi. Would have also struck out 6 times. Here's the 0-1. That one ripped to right field. Coming on in and making a lunging play in right field. A beautiful effort from Joey Rogers. And strikeouts. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball shortstop. Coming on in, Charlie Hughey. Tough throw across his body in time to get Brady Chant and end the ball game. So the baseball team will look to get back to their winning ways later on this week. Let's take a look at the LEC scoreboard as you take a look around the Lilies Conference lacrosse action, as Mount Ida was unable to get much offense going against EastCon as the Beacons rivals won 14-5, and then Skidmore was able to score more than Keene State, 13-10 the finals. The Owls fall. So the LEC saw a winner, they saw a loser. They'll hope to go 2-1 this afternoon as the Beacons and the Lions are underway. The Beacons, of course, do have the possession here, moving from left to right. As we begin things, no opportunity for a face-off, so we won't get to see the reigning LEC Defensive Player of the Week, Sinclair Steves. Beacons are a man down, if I remember correctly, as the man in there is number 24, Tommy Solander still, for about 10 seconds more. But the Beacons are able to maintain possession long enough as getting taken down between 4 players was Holmes. And the Beacons keep it as Croy Arnold finds his partner in crime, Mauceri. Mauceri peels back, and Solander will come back onto the pitch. In fact, he's actually going to sit out for a moment here. Instead, coming on out will be Trey Mason onto the field. So Mason out there with Mauceri, who has possession. Croy Arnold, Clay Arnold, Lenfest, and Holmes. Mauceri behind the net. Clay Arnold near side. Lenfest lost possession off the reception of that feed, was able to regain it in front of the defender, Pearson. And then a quick spin shot, he scores! Connor Lenfest has given the Beacons their largest lead of the day. It's 6-4 UMass Boston. 15th goal of the year for Lenfest, as the Beacons goal scorers continue to produce after a slow start this evening. It's a cold night out there. We've seen colder. No precipitation, which is the real difference maker, as the Beacons have scored 5 unanswered since the start of the second quarter. It's 6-4. 14:04 to go in the third quarter, as Sinclair Steves, the reigning LEC Defensive Player of the Week, is unable to win the face-off. Coming back the other way with it is number 38, Josh Delaney, and he and the Lions trying to take advantage here and try to stem the tide. They have really fallen on hard times in the last 20 minutes or so of this game. Offensively, the well has runneth dry. With possession, Matt Morgan. Morgan hands it off for McLaughlin. McLaughlin back to Morgan. Pitch and catch from to the left side of that midfield stripe. McLaughlin goes right through Arnold, hands it right back off Morgan. Morgan has a shooting lane, spins through right into the slot, and then it's forced back out. Good defense by Matten, as well as Croy Arnold. Behind the net. Shot attempt, they score! As punishing it through, short side here is C.J. Layton on the near side post. And Layton has given the hopes for the Lions a renewal, as Layton puts through his 9th of the year. 4 players have double-digit goals: Stomberg, Morgan, Weir, and Talanian. Similarly for the Beacons, 4 players also with double digits: Clay Arnold, Connor Lenfest, Joe Mauceri, and Josh Holmes. It's 6-5. UMass Boston still on top, but the Lions right back in this one. Off the face-off win, Mike Doucette. Doucette connecting there with number 33, James Macachella. Ball still loose now, picked up, and a penalty, and a whistle rather. No penalty, but the possession does go turn over to UMass Boston. Another turnover here for the Lions. Ooh, getting shoved down at midfield. No call was Matt, and he was looking for something, didn't get it. Nonetheless, the Beacons do have possession as Dillon is the man with it. Long stick midfielder trying to go around the defense. Dillon, D'd up one-on-one with Liam Pearson, coming all the way back far side, and then he'll hand things off to Mauceri. Mauceri for Croy Arnold. Croy near side for Mason. Mason back for Croy. Pinching in late here just beyond midfield. Now getting the pass is Lenfest, who just scored. Lenfest behind the net for Holmes. Josh Holmes, far side, fakes the pass and loses possession. Lost it right in front of the defender, Moitino. And that's another turnover for UMass Boston. They had 8 coming into the corner. And then a bad turnover. Clay Arnold has it on a break. Right in front, he scores! A terrible turnover by Dylan Janovich. And UMass Boston's leading goal scorer takes advantage as Clay Arnold gets his 20th of the year. And it's 7-5 UMass Boston. The last thing you want to do is give it away to Clay, who is their leader in goal production. An unassisted goal after what was just an inadvertent turnover right in front of the netminder by the defenders. And the last thing you want to do if you're a defender in this sport is turn it over on the breakout because there is nobody running towards you to help out. And on that one, it was probably the easiest goal Clay Arnold scored all year. So off the ensuing faceoff, Beacons back up by 2. 11.5 to go, third quarter action. Behind the net, the Lions trying to answer back as they did a couple of minutes ago when they fell down by 2 for the first time. Now for the second time, down by a couple of goals. Stomberg hands it off. And getting things started here is going to be Maxwell McLaughlin. One-on-one with Croy Arnold. McLaughlin, good feed, good shooting lane, they score! What a bouncing shot from way outside by Talanian. And Josh does it again, it's 7-6. That was just a beautiful shot from Talanian, bouncing it at the perfect angle, about a foot or so in front of the goal line. And for Talanian, number 19 on the year, as he and the Lions right back in it. It's 7-6. It was 4-1 after 1 in favor of Wheaton, 5-4 Beacons after 2, and now just 4 minutes into the second half. We have 2 goals apiece. 7-6 UMass Boston. Liam Pearson hands it off and gets off the field. And that'll allow Matt Morgan and company to get the rush started as Phaneuf replaces Pearson on the field and on the attacking side of midfield. Handing it right on back to Talanian, back onto the field after scoring his 19th, looking for even number 20, but he lost possession, regained it in midair after he lost the cradle, and now behind the net, Scott Weir, who is one of the team leaders in point production as well, as he tumbles down after missing wide on a shot, but the Lions rumble towards it and keep possession with 10:10 to go. Wheaton, C.J. Layton behind the net. Layton finds Talanian. Phaneuf, one-on-one with Matten. Screen there from Talanian. Phaneuf utilizes it perfectly, takes a shot, and that one whistles by the extended right leg of Surratt and goes out of bounds. Possession stays here with Wheaton. Seven-6 Beacons. Wheaton getting the opportunity is tumbling down in his own zone there was Curd. And good recovery from Chuck Curd as he took it away on the outlet pass. However, he was unable to connect with his intended target, Solander. And a turnover there for UMass Boston. So the Lions try to take advantage. Scott Weir. Weir goes all the way back for Morgan. Morgan, one-on-one with Matten. Good play. Moves to the left hand, gets by Sam. Morgan all the way right in front. Great save with the stick by Surratt. Matt Morgan's shot denied by Surratt. And the Beacons cling to that 1-goal advantage. Here's Phaneuf right around Matten again, utilizing those wheels. And then he gets taken down from his backside. Takes a shot, saved by Surratt. Flag on the field. And there will be a penalty and a man-up opportunity coming here for the Wheaton Lions. It's a cross-check. And I think 1 minute. Croy Arnold, the guilty party. 9 minutes exactly remaining.
1 minute for a cross check set.
UMass Boston penalty. Number 8, Troy Arnold. 1 minute for cross check.
So as we showed you at the half, the Lions 0 for 1 with the extra man up from the far side. Talanian hands it back. Pump fake opportunity for Stomberg. Back for Talanian near side. Faking it Morgan. Stomberg thinks about it. Far side Talanian. Looks like a hockey power play here with how much movement we're seeing from the outside. No one behind the net right now. They tried to pinch it down low for Weir. It was deflected. Coming on over Talanian. He saves it from going out of bounds but turns it over. And eventually it does come out, and the Beacons will get possession. So a break there. Morgan doesn't like the call. But a good effort on a play made down low by Fournier, as the Beacons' junior long stick defenseman now has a collision and then gets crushed from behind by Morgan. He is down, and that is a retribution for Fournier, connecting there with number 13, Dylan Janovich, and then Morgan coming over and dismantling Fournier, who is still down on the field. We'll see what the call is, but that was a vicious hit from Morgan, who ran up from 10, 15 yards away and just absolutely crushed Jack Fournier, who's down on the field still. The trainers are attending to him. The referee heading over to the scorer's table to deliver the news, and the retribution by Morgan after the collision moments prior. Discussing it with the Wheaton coaching staff. 8:16 to go, third quarter action. Fournier, folks, is on his feet. He looks okay. He's walking off under his own power and isn't even showing much of a limp. So good news if you're Jack Fournier or a Beacons fan. Even better news, should be a penalty will come from this. It was 42, Morgan, who leveled the blow. 2 minutes for a body check to the head.
Penalty on number 42, Matt Morgan. 2 minutes for a check to the head. The penalty is locked in.
So it's locked in. So 2 minutes here where UMass Boston will have an opportunity to get some insurance goals. So similarly to a major penalty in hockey, for the 2 minutes, the Beacons will have the man up no matter what. They can score 10 goals, and Matt Morgan will have to just sit there thinking about what he did, like a kid heading to timeout. Here is Lenfest leading the way for the Beacons. He hands it off for Mason. Back to Connor. We are underway. 8:05 to go. Third quarter action. 7-6 UMass Boston. And a 2-minute advantage for a check to the head. Troy Arnold makes his way onto the field. Lenfest finds Holmes. Holmes fakes the shot, hesitates, now comes back to Mason. Mason, Mauceri. You look at the defense here for the visiting Lions. They all pinch in when they're shorthanded to prevent any sort of cuts in front. They've done a good job of it all day. Lenfest finds Mauceri. 7:20 to go. Still no shots with this man up. As Holmes goes down low. One-touch feed. Finding Lenfest was Troy Arnold, but Connor's shot whistles high and wide. Beacons keep possession as the first man there is Mauceri. Joe for Mason. By way of Holmes on the far side, Lenfest. Right back to Mason. Mason near side. And Mauceri takes a shot. Good save by Miller. Ball loose. Rebound. Another chance save. Rebound. Another one. Whistles wide. Mason got the third shot. Holmes the second. And possession to the Lions as they dodge a bullet right there. So Wheaton will clear here. Or at the very least attempt to. Liam Pearson, one-on-one with Clay Arnold. They blew this opportunity a few minutes ago and allowed Clay Arnold a breakaway goal. This time Pearson decides, I'm not even going to try to pass it. I'm just going to take it all the way myself, and he does. Pearson, one-on-one with Dillon, and Jack just forces him out of bounds. He loses possession, and the Beacons get it. What a play by Dillon, who continues to be one of the best players on the field at any given time. 6.5 to go, and we have a timeout as UMass Boston leads it 7-6. And so it looks like Wheaton is going to maintain possession as the timeout was called just moments before the turnover occurred. A break for the Lions. And a good decision from Kyle Hart. 6.5 to go. Third quarter action from James Cotter Field, campus of UMass Boston, or BC High, right between the two. Right here in the Harbor campus of UMass Boston. A chilly night as we inch closer to what we hope is warmer weather. Supposedly going to be in the 60s this weekend when the baseball team and the track team will battle it out. Beacons back onto the field. Wheaton following as the Lions keep possession. 6.5 on the dot remaining in the third quarter. Beacons unable to do anything with that advantage that they got from the Morgan penalty. And now here are the Lions trying to take advantage of the momentum they would have built from that. With possession behind the net, spinning back was C.J. Layton. Layton still with possession, one-on-one with Dillon. Shielding his stick from the long stick of Jack Dillon. And back to the top near midfield they come. Here's Morgan fresh off his few moments in the sin bin. Now all the way down. He's pinched behind the net. And another penalty, this time on the Beacons as Morgan draws it. So Morgan causes a penalty. Now he draws one. As we are going to get a man-up opportunity for the Wheaton Lions. And the man heading towards the penalty box, I believe, is number 24, Tommy Solander. And it's a 30-second holding penalty. So the Beacons will have to kill off 30 seconds of man-up time here for the Lions, as they have been really neutralized mostly since the first. Far side, taken in by Weir. Weir fakes the shot and then loses his stick. And it's Beacons' ball. They're going to say that no contact was made as Weir just lost possession of his own stick by himself. Sam Matton with 5:35 to go. And just mere seconds remaining on that man-up opportunity. What a play by Dillon getting through the defense. Then he lost possession and still had the wherewithal from his knees to poke it to the fair side of midfield. Solander is back onto the field. We're all evened up. I believe he was going to be. And now he is coming onto the field to replace him is Mauceri. Now coming all the way in and a wide-open opportunity. They score. Coming all the way through the defense and scoring is Matt Morgan, the man who caused the penalty moments ago. So sweet redemption for Morgan. He commits the check to the head of Fournier and then comes back in and scores a goal minutes later. There was a flag on the field, but nothing coming of that. Looks like it just fell out of the ref's pocket. So the 2-goal lead is gone for UMass Boston. It's 7-7 with 5:09 to go. And what has been a very slow-moving third quarter with all the goals scored. 3 for the Lions, 2 for the Beacons, after we had 9 scored in the first half. And another beautiful face-off by Sinclair Steves as he comes in far side for Holmes. Holmes, near side, and just missing on a short side opportunity was Trey Mason on a beautiful passing play from Josh Holmes. Holmes now has possession, fakes the handoff for Croy. Croy pretending like he has possession, but it was Holmes who hands it back to Mauceri. And Mauceri finds Lenfast. The Beacons will try to take the lead back here. Mason back for Connor. Behind the net by way of Mason, finding Holmes, and far side Croy. Connecting there with Mauceri. Joe one-on-one with Marcicella. Going all the way around him. A bouncing shot whistles wide near side. Comes out of bounds, but Clay Arnold first man there. 4:13 to go. Lenfest with possession in his right hand. Faked that pass. Good play. Hands it off now for Arnold. Croy behind the net for Holmes. Around the horn they go. Far side, Mason finds Mauceri. Near side now, Lenfest. Croy Arnold. One-on-one with McLaughlin. Instead sends it back behind the net again for Holmes. Holmes was looking for Mason in front. No passing lane. Mauceri for Croy. Now Connor Lenfest. Lenfest got a lane to pinch in. Thought about taking the shot. Instead he holds on to it. Killing off time here. 3.5 to go. Third quarter action. Croy Arnold goes right into McLaughlin with that left shoulder. Takes the hit. Goes down. No call. Is good play. The shot clock ticking down from 30. Mauceri. Just 19 to go now on that clock. Hands it off. Clay finds Connor. Connor, what a play. Spinning back. Takes the shot. What a pass. And Holmes misses wide from the far side post. Not sure if that was a shot attempt from Connor Lenfest or a pass for Holmes. Either way, Josh ended up with a golden scoring opportunity. Just missed wide. 2:40 to go, third quarter action. Beacon still with possession. What feels like they've had it for the last 3 or 4 minutes. Lenfest trying to squeeze his way towards the net, but nowhere to be found, and now tries a bouncing shot that misses the near side post wide. Holmes will get there, though. It's the beauty of lacrosse. You can maintain possession for an infinite amount of time, I suppose, if your teams are in the right position enough and gets enough shots away. As here is Lenfest. Lenfest takes the shot, hits the post. Lenfest looking for another goal, hits the post. And Maxwell McLaughlin coming the other way on a break. Trying to lead the bum rush for the visiting Wheaton Lions, but he has to peel back with under 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Drops it off for Phaneuf. Phaneuf. Teed up now by Mauceri, one-on-one, as joining him out there will be Jack Hounshell, and Jack has possession, number 7 in blue. Jack's got a man cutting in. It's Morgan. He scored just moments ago. He does again! Matt Morgan is shocking the hometown crowd as he scores his second of the day. It's 8-7, Wheaton College. 17th of the year for Matt Morgan, as number 42 in blue has had quite an eventful third quarter. He went to the penalty box for 2 minutes for a illegal check to the head of Jack Fournier, and after making his way out has scored back-to-back goals to give Wheaton their first lead since late in the first half. And Sinclair Steves unable to win the face-off, as Miller will dump it deep. Unable to field the pass immediately was Doucette, but Mike is eventually able to get it down low, and an opportunity now for some insurance goals as Layton comes behind the net, finds Scott Weir. Weir, one-on-one, connecting there with the long stick of James Holston. Holston instead defers as he's got to head back on defense, and then off the field for Phaneuf, as the man with it is Maxwell McLaughlin. Less than 1 minute to go, third quarter action, in what has been a topsy-turvy roller coaster ride of a lacrosse game between Wheaton and UMass Boston. It's now 8-7 Wheaton here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network as Weir takes a shot, and that one looked like it was shot out of a mortar as it flies out towards the parking lot. And eventually here's Phaneuf going right around the D in front and somehow was unable to make the goal as a good save from Surratt, who comes whacking at the puck behind the net. As Alex Surratt is able to kick it towards the out-of-bounds line. And what a play from Surratt as he helps give the Beacons the advantage and possession with just 21.7 to go. And so that should, at the very least, get us into the fourth in a one-goal game with the Beacons trailing. But we'll see if Dillon can beat the clock here. 10 seconds to go. Jack Dillon all the way down. Jack hooked around a little bit, trying to just maintain possession on that long stick. And as he launches that one out of bounds, that should do it once the clock restarts in 2 seconds here. As with possession is Moitino, and that'll do it for the third quarter of play. What a third quarter it was. It was 5-4 Beacons at the half. And over 15 minutes, we saw 2 or 3 lead changes. And the score sitting now 8-7, Lions out on top. We're going to take a break here for just a minute. When we come back, we'll have the final 15, the exciting fourth quarter of play between UMass Boston and Wheaton. We are back here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. The face-off to begin the fourth quarter. Both teams switching sides. Beacons shooting from right to left in their white uniforms, and the Lions, who lead now 8-7, shooting from left to right in their blue. What a third quarter it was. We saw a lot of physical play. Jack Fournier went down for a moment. Folks, he's back in the game, by the way, on defense, so he's okay. Matt Morgan is better than okay. He served 2 minutes. His team killed it off without giving up a goal, and then he scored 2 to give the Wheaton Lions an 8-7 lead. So the Beacons will try to bounce back and retie this game in what has been a low-scoring affair from James Cotter Field. This is the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I'm John Scooters. Folks, stay up to date with all your Beacons Athletics action, whether it be at beaconsathletics.com or on social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, at Beacons Athletics. Not sure if I'm missing any there. We don't have a Snapchat yet, right? Dave Wahlberg, Sports Information Director, said we will never have one. As I can't blame you for that. Holmes finds Mauceri. Mauceri down low, looking for help. No one was behind the net. Now there is Clay Arnold, but Mauceri did not want to hand it off to him with the defense so close. That was the long stick defense of Connor Donahue. Lenfest trying to get the Beacons retied. Thought about just heading towards the net, but there was nothing there. No angle to shoot. Mauceri fakes the shot, now takes the right-handed shot. He scores! What a goal, as delivering with the dagger is Joe Mauceri, our player to watch. And it's 8-8 here from James Cotter Field. The 19th of the year for Joe, as the freshmen continue to connect. One freshman, Connor Lenfest, finding another, Joe Mauceri. Correction, number 18 for Joe. Maybe we're just teasing what may come in the next 13 minutes. In an 8-8 game, Beacons trying to get the go-ahead goal yet again. Here's Dillon, who somehow maintained possession for most of that before Morgan knocked it out of bounds. This Matt Morgan plays with a bit of feistiness to him. It's working. His team killed off the big penalty that he committed in the third, and then he came right back out and twisted the dagger by scoring back-to-back goals to give his team a lead. Right now, though, thanks to Mauceri, it is 8-8. But here are the Lions looking for more. Coming all the way in now, Morgan. Morgan faked the shot. Defers down low. Weir behind the net. Phaneuf right in front. They score. Talanian. He does it again as Josh continues to rip a hole in the heart of the Beacons faithful. It's 9-8. The 20th goal of the year for Josh. As C.J. Layton is the primary assister. It is 9-8 with 12:37 to go. And what a game that really in the first half seemed like a feeling out process. The first quarter dominated by the Lions. They led 4-1 after one. The Beacons then scored all 4 goals of the second to lead it 5-4. A back-and-forth third saw the Beacons trailing 8-7. And now, just 2.5 minutes into the fourth, it's 9-8. Wheaton College. Beacons, of course, in their last game scored 6 unanswered in the fourth quarter. Those dreams will not be mimicked here in this one, as they have given up one and scored one here in the first 2.5 of the final frame. 9-8 UMass Boston trails as Lenfest hands it off to Joe Mauceri. Beacons with possession. UMass Boston's Joe Mauceri, who scored moments ago in this quarter. Behind the net for Holmes, and that is a tough break for the Beacons. And a turnover for UMass Boston, unforced, as Holmes was unable to handle the pass. Launching this one all the way down for Weir. Nice pass there for Weir. Weir now has a chance, takes the shot wide of the net. Hit the side of the net and trickled behind. That'll allow Surratt, who's been outstanding today since coming in after the first quarter, to clear the pass. 11:38 to go. Beacons with possession. Dalton Ring will get off the field after he hands this one off. Behind the net. Holmes. Actually, Dalton stays on. Dalton hasn't played much since the first quarter when the Beacons struggled. Ring, nice juke move. Trying to use the left-handed pass. No one home in front. Comes back behind for Arnold. Arnold left-handed behind the net. All the way for Lenfest. Lenfest right through the slot. Takes a bouncer wide of the net. Beacons will keep it as Arnold was the first man there. 11:05 to go. Fourth quarter action. Lenfest. For Joe Mauceri. Mauceri takes a sidearm shot, and that's blocked down, and a rush the other way now. A chance with numbers for the visiting Wheaton College Lions. Here's Moitino. Moitino down low, Weir right in front. They score. What a passing play. Moitino to Weir, and the goal eventually scored in front by number 29, Alex Stomberg. For Stomberg, it's 13th of the year. And the lead is back up to 2. The largest lead since the first quarter, early in the second quarter at least, for these Lions. So UMass Boston now down 2. Fourth quarter has not been kind as Sinclair Steves turns it over, and coming back the other way, handing it off there was Doucette behind the net. Here is Moitino. As the struggles for the Beacons when it comes to maintaining possession in the fourth continue. Here's Weir. Weir being jockeyed and harassed by Solander. Tommy with that long stick taking a couple of whacks, but Weir utilizes the off arm to protect his stick. Back out to the top of the offensive formation as it's taken in there and slowed down. Hounshell, as Jack takes it right into the face of Croy Arnold, still keeps possession on the cradle, now hands it back out to Morgan, a dangerous player in his own right, already got two. Morgan looking for the Hattie coming in. Had nothing there, though, back behind the net. Pinching in, and an underhand shot is up and wide, coming from Stomberg, who just scored moments ago. 9:36 to go. Beacons trailing 10-8 here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Right in front, that pass missed its mark, but now a chance coming all the way in as Fanufi scores! And the wheels are falling off this Beacons wagon as they have given up 3 unanswered and trail at 11-8. Griffin Fanuff, 6th of the year, as the diminutive midfielder has extended the lead to the largest since the beginning of the second quarter. It's a 3-goal advantage at 11-8, 9:27 to go. Sinclair Steves had a remarkable first half with a couple of face-offs, but he has since been neutralized here in the second half by Mike Doucette, a junior from Melrose. Sinclair Steves able to win that one, though, and get it deep as Doucette gets taken out by number 6. As Jacob did a good job there before he'll head off the field, but now we'll get a whistle, and it looks like it is going to be an advantage here for Wheaton as the Lions keep possession. Here's Weir. Weir keeps it away from Solander. And now with possession, Talanian, who's had a couple of goals today. He hands it off for the man who scored the last goal, Fanuff. Fanuff gets it back from another player who scored 2 goals, Morgan, as they play pitch and catch just to the right of midfield with 8:40 to go. Sam Matten on Fanuff. Fanuff runs around his way. Tries to pinch back, looking for a shooting lane. Takes it high and wide, near side, comes out. It'll stay with Wheaton. As Alex Stomberg is the man with possession of the ball. Stomberg around Solander in front. Weir, pump fake, goes right into the slot. Ripper, and they score again. 4 unanswered goals. And who else but Talanian? 21 now on the year for Josh Talanian as he and the Lions are taking a bite out of the Beacons' hopes. 8:17 to go. It's 12-8, Wheaton College. So Jacobs back out there. So he'll go one-on-one with Mike Doucette. Jacob Sinclair Steves fighting for it here. Beacons desperately wanted that one, but it is Doucette who comes away with it, using that off arm to protect against Dillon. Getting roughed up a little bit by Holmes and then Dillon. Ball loose, kicks towards the Beacons goal, and still loose there around the circle around midfield, and eventually it is taken in by Stomberg. Here's Weir. Puts on the brakes. 12-8 now. This was an 8-8 game just minutes ago. McLaughlin getting a bit of a stick check there from Matten behind the net, wheeling it around. Good cut back there. Stomberg, rising shot, comes and misses near side out of bounds. 7:19 to go. Clock stops as the first man down there was Layton. And CJ starts things up again. Good spin from CJ, gets the pick. Comes right in front, he scores. As things quickly unraveling for UMass Boston, the opposite of what happened for them in the fourth last time out against Riviere when they scored 6 unanswered. They have given up 5 unanswered in the last 8 minutes, and they trail it 13-8. And surprised to see we haven't gotten a timeout out of Tyler Lowe here with the momentum clearly going in the favor of the Lions. Beacons can't get possession on a face-off, and that is a problem considering Jacob Sinclair Steves was rewarded by the Little East Conference for his abilities in the face-off circle as Jacob had it, got his stick checked, loses possession, ball still loose on the far side. Jacob picks it up, comes near side, and now here we go with Jack Dillon as the Beacons finally have an offensive attack going here after minutes the other way. Dillon spins, takes a shot, and that one misses wide near side of Chandler Miller's net. Clay Arnold will get possession for UMass Boston, but they are going to need a lot of goals and fast. They trail now by 5 with just 6:40 to go. Far side, spin there from Lenfast, takes a shot, and he scores! Lenfast gets the Beacons back on the board. That one looked like it may have hit the side of the net, but Connor's celebrating. And the Beacons are back on it. The 16th of the year for Connor Lenfest. The freshman continues to heat up here at the end of March as the Beacons have cut the deficit back down to 4. It's 13-9. 6:35 to go. It is not over yet, folks. The Beacons get that face-off win. A good play by Dillon to take the shot, even if it missed wide, and then Arnold and Lenfest turn it into a goal. 13-9 as Sinclair Steve will try to win it again, and he does. Jacob hooked a little bit on the off arm, but he's able to emerge from it with possession. Finds Holmes. Beacons trying to turn this face-off win into another goal. They're down by 4, 13-9, 6.5 to go. As Mauceri gets out there, Holmes will hand it off to him. Urgency will have to be a bit of a concern for the Beacons here as coming on in, Lenfest looking for another bouncer wide. That one comes out, but Holmes was there. 6:01 to go in regulation time. Holmes getting a screen from Mauceri. Holmes checked as he was shooting. Nothing going there. Both sticks coming out of the arms of the defenders for the Lions. And then checked out of bounds on the far side with nothing to come from it was Lenfest. And the only thing to come from it is possession for the Lions as the referees give it over to Wheaton with 5:40 to go. Here's Miller out of his crease area and back to the far side to be taken in and moved forward by Donahue. Connor right back to Miller. Miller thrusts it forward with that goal stick, but it's a turnover. And coming back the other way now is Solander. Solander loses possession, though, trying to do a little too much as the defender. And then he tries to force it out of Morgan's grasp, but here is Matt coming the other way. What a day for Matt Morgan. Looking for a hat trick. Instead, he sends it right in front. Good play as the Lions up by 4 smartly say, you know what, let's kill some clock here as they are going to get it back to Maxwell McLaughlin at midfield. Smart play from Morgan, who could have thought about shooting it, but instead he and the Lions are going to kill off much-needed time. Under 5 minutes to go, the Beacons trailing by 4 goals. Handing it off, Morgan gets it over to the man who scored a couple of goals today, Josh Talanian. Josh hands it off now for Layton. Layton, one-on-one behind the net. Just killing time. They can do that as the 30-second clock doesn't even begin to tick down until 90 seconds have gone through, so they can kill off much of the remainder of this time, but the Beacons able to force the turnover. As motoring back the other way again is Solander. He gets checked into the scorer's table and over a bucket of something. Not sure what it was over there, maybe balls. He looks okay. He's angry, though, as he throws the bucket of balls towards the scorer's table. I don't blame him. 3:53 to go. Possession to Wheaton off another Beacons turnover. Collision there, and then getting taken down with the stick is Morgan, and then whacked at as he's on the ground a couple of times by Dillon, and that's another penalty. 2 penalties on the play, and the Beacons, well, that will probably just about do it for their hopes as the frustration fouls begin to kick in late in this game. Maybe a little retribution for Morgan's hit on Fournier. Jack Dillon is known as a fiery player, but he is going to head to the penalty box, and he might not be the only one. Mauceri also in the area, and I think they're both going. That was a dangerous play with Morgan on the ground, taking a couple whacks at him. As right now Mauceri's not in the box, it's just Dillon. We have a timeout on the field with UMass trailing by 4. Wow. So that's interesting. So 30 seconds apiece to Dillon and Mauceri, and a conduct penalty on Wheaton. So the Beacons will have possession. So 30 seconds to Mauceri, 30 seconds to Dillon, and a conduct penalty to the Wheaton bench. And so the Beacons keep possession, despite the fact that they're 2 men down. A bit of a rarity, but an opportunity for them to try to work some sort of magic. Granted, with 3:40 to go, down by 4 and 2 men down. Not the easiest thing in the world. UMass Boston want one last chance for romance. We'll see what the numbers are when they come out. Right now, Holmes is the only guy down there. Mason will join him. Arnold also. Of course, Dillon went tumbling into that bucket by the scorer's table about a minute before all those penalties happened, so I'm sure a lot of frustration here on both sides. It's been a fiery game, a lot of penalties. Beacons with possession despite being 2 men down. They're going to need to work some sort of magic here if they're going to get things going. They are down 2 men in the attacking zone, so it's not going to be easy, although a penalty's just been drawn by UMass Boston. And a push, I believe, is the call, which is typically a 30-second penalty. Guilty party Maxwell McLaughlin. So now just a 1-man advantage for Wheaton as the Beacons will have possession. Holmes on the far side. So it's got to start now if you're UMass Boston. You're trailing by 4, 3:23 to go. You're down a man. They have 4 players in the attacking zone compared to 5 and a goalie for Wheaton, and then immediate turnover and a timeout now on the field. 3:15 to go, another timeout, as both teams feeling each other out in the latter portions of this game, trying to wind things down. Of course, UMass Boston, if they lose this one, will fall back to 500, 4-4. They have yet to play a conference battle. That'll come to an end this weekend when they head to Southern Maine to take on their rivals. Southern Maine on the year, well, they're pretty dreadful. They're 1-5 and picked to finish in 6th place in the conference. So an opportunity for the Beacons to get off to a good start in the conference regardless of the outcome of this one. They will then be at Westcom. Their conference slate this year includes Southern Maine, Westcon, Eastcon, Dartmouth, Keene State, and Salem State, as well as Plymouth State, one against every team, before that Little East Conference tournament kicks off on May 1st. So out of the timeout, Beacons have possession, trailing by 4, 3:15 to go. This was a game the Beacons trailed 4-1 after one, led 5-4 at the half, trailed 8-7 heading into the fourth, and then after tying it up, had fallen behind 13-8 before making it 13-9. We've had a lot of penalties. As both of those penalties expire, the Beacons are evened up. 3:05 to go, down by 4. Everyone's even. UMass Boston trying to get it going. Mauceri near side. Faking the shot, Holmes. Holmes back for Mason. Far side, quick shot, and missing the net entirely was number 9, Connor Lenfest. And the Beacons keep possession. Wheaton College will be hosting MIT on Saturday. That is a conference battle for them. Their conference games this year include MIT, Coast Guard. That pass deflected and wide. Clark, Babson, Emerson, Mass Maritime, and Springfield. Turnover there from Mauceri. And this one comes out of bounds. Beacons ball, but with just 2:23 to go and a 4-goal deficit, the odds are not in their favor here on a Tuesday evening in Boston. Lenfest into the attacking area, coming all the way in. Got swatted at from behind. Almost turned it over. Kept possession. Clay Arnold. Mauceri shoots it. Denied by Miller. He'll get possession with 2 minutes to go as Wheaton will slow things up and try to kill some clock up by 4. So the Lions will take on an MIT team that beat the Beacons by 10 earlier this year. On Saturday, the Beacons taking on Southern Maine. That ball almost hit a fan in the head. Good gracious. That one came out of nowhere as possession's still going. The ball shot into the stands. And the fan never saw it. Must have missed him by a foot. And Clay Arnold doesn't miss it all. 90 seconds to go, and Clay is back on the board as he gets his 21st of the year. It's 13-10 with 1:29 to go, so not over yet. If Sinclair Steve can win this faceoff from Doucette, the Beacons still have a little hope, down by 3 with 89 seconds to go. Face-off between Doucette and Sinclair Steves, and Jacob kicks it into the attacking zone, then gets crushed, and the Beacons get possession. Salander, 1:20 to go. Hands it off for Croy Arnold. Time is running out. Last chance for romance. Mason into the slot looking for help. Nobody open. And then Trey has to send it all the way back out for Lenfest. Connor, 60 seconds to go. Still a 3-goal deficit. Takes the shot. Good save by Miller. Rebound is loose and taken away and cleared by the Lions, as that is Moitino sending it all the way deep, though we do get a whistle, and Victor will turn it over to Holmes. Holmes' shot misses wide of the net. Clay Arnold will be the first one there with 48.3 to go. Arnold, as we resume, right in front, a shot, they score! Clay to Croy. And with 44.5 to go, it's a 2-goal Lions lead. Ninth of the year from Croy Arnold. Moments ago, Clay Arnold scored his 21st. This time Clay finding his brother Croy, and it's a 2-goal game. Still a chance, though time running out. 44.5 seconds to go, a 2-goal game. Sinclair Steve will have to win this face-off, and he'll have to do it quickly. He goes up against Doucette, a battle that has been raging all evening, and then a beautiful play by Doucette as he just kicks it deep. But it's taken and moved forward here by Fournier. Fournier, first time he's touched the ball since he got illegally checked in the head by Morgan, finds Holmes. Just 30 seconds to go. Holmes lost it out of bounds, though, and possession goes to the Lions. Miller, though, lost it. Clay Arnold chasing after it. Cut off there, and moving forward with it is Janovich. He'll dump it all the way down. with just 15 seconds to go. The time is going to run out on the UMass Boston Beacons. They went back and forth, led at halftime, were within a goal heading into the fourth. But a big run in the fourth quarter from Matt Morgan and these visiting Wheaton Lions has Wheaton advantage and winning by the final score of 13-11. They improved.